Okay, hi. This is a part two. I made a part one that you only have to watch once. So this is just going to be the actual protocol of the exercises and the conclusion. If you're jumping in now, you're going to need a ball to participate that is hollow. I have a racket ball in one hand, a squash ball in the other hand, and I'd also suggested a melt hollow blue ball as another option. In the other video, I used the racquetball because it was easier to see. I'm just going to use the squash ball this time so you can see what that looks like. Okay, I'm going to go through both feet. If you already did that other video with me, just do one, just do the other foot, and then I'll tell you in the notes where to skip ahead from there. Hi, you're going to put your ball on the floor, and I want you to place it under the ball of your foot. I'm going to turn sideways so you can see this a little better. Under the ball of your foot with your heel down on the ground. And I want you to have your stance slightly staggered just to help your balance. You're going to create a windshield wiper motion back and forth. You can give the ball a little pressure if that feels comfortable, but don't squish it too hard so I don't want you to lose the rolling quality back and forth. What I'd like you to sense is each knuckle where the bone is and the spaces, the little gaps in between them. Okay, so we're just sensing that solid connection. Now, move the ball so it's underneath your heel and put the front of your foot down flat. Weight most of that leg, put most of your weight into that back leg. Oh, this is going to be a winner video, I can tell. And start to swing back and forth that way. So now we're pivoting on the forefoot, allowing the heel to just massage back and forth with the ball. Because your heel is one bone and it's pretty sturdy, you can explore giving it a little more pressure if that's comfortable, and also a slight shimmy. You can wiggle the ball a little more towards the front of the heel, a little more towards the back. Besides just waking up sensation in parts of your feet, take this time to just feel this is pleasurable. Make it work for you. Okay, so that established in the shape of the foot, heel, and the pinky and the ball of the foot, this whole little like rainbow of bones. Now we're going to play around with the soft tissue that exists in between. So where I have the palm of my hand, that's where the arch of your foot is. So you're going to start exploring just by rolling in more of a zigzaggy, but still with light pressure all around. If you're concerned about your balance, because now your whole foot is up, you can definitely place your hand on a wall to do this. The pattern doesn't matter. Just make sure you're eventually getting all of the tissue. And here, feeling for its softness, but also how expansive it is, how much of the foot is the fascia, the tendons to your toes, and the arch itself. Now, let's explore the depth of that soft tissue by still moving it around a little bit while giving it a slight push down. So you are giving the ball a little squish. To tolerance, to pleasure, not to pain. But definitely pick up on the signals. If you notice pain in an area, that might be worth investigating as a tension spot if it's always there. Okay, so you can kind of feel how it has some give, helping with that sensation that it can go up and down. Now, we're going to roll that ball from toe to heel, going along the length of your foot over and over again. And here you're observing change from the way the toes can manipulate through the bony landmark, through the whole arch into the heel. And I'm just gradually moving it along each ray. And I'm coming back now because I've done several passes. Okay, and just a couple more. All right, now with really light pressure, just everywhere on the foot. Just move it around, play around a little. Try not to lose your ball. Okay, let's go over to the other foot. I'm going to tap my screen because I wonder if I can make... Whoa, that was too dark. We're going to go with too light instead of too dark. Sorry about that. All right. From the top of the order, I've got the heel down, big toe, knuckle on the ball, and I'm just fanning it back and forth. You can start that motion going. I'm just going to do a check-in on the stuff I said on the other side. So I'm in a staggered stance. I'm pivoting on the heel to make that windshield wiper. And it's fine to peek at what you're doing, but try not to stand in a slumpy posture. Be big. Be intimidating. All right, switch it. Whoa. Get the front of your foot on the floor and your heel on the ball. Find the pressure that's tolerable and just pass it back and forth. Pretend you're buttering bread. Butter on my heels, a weirder image that I think I want for this exercise. Remember that you can shimmy this a little bit. We've got a little more freedom to give pressure to this area. It's sturdy. It can handle your weight. We're just going to play. Okay, so we shimmy and we shimmy. Now we're going to explore the tissue in the center, going with a light pressure, rolling the foot around. Your goal right now is to explore and find out how much soft tissue space there is in between the transverse arch where the knuckles were and the heel. Okay, so you can see I'm powering this a lot from my hip muscles, turning the leg, maybe even turning my pelvis a little. And now I'm going to switch techniques and go more to that pushing down and then moving it. So I'm just squishing and releasing. And I'm trying to do that gently, so I'm tuning in to the soft tissue under those long rays of the bones. Okay, and just make sure we're getting some horizontal change as well as different places along the length of the tissue. Okay, so we've sensed the bony connections, we've sensed that pliable tissue, and now you're going to run the ball back and forth from your toes to your heels. Play with different amounts of load as you shift your weight. And I'm saying shifting my weight. This is still my stable leg, but I got to kind of move with it. And you're working your way across and then back again. So we're getting all that tissue. Okay, I'm going to let you do a couple more passes. But all of this work was to stimulate the sensory nerve endings under your feet. They respond to different kinds of pressure, but this whole sequence was to bring into your conscious awareness this region, but also at the sensory end of this, just to stimulate different tissue. So now we let the ball roll away. And then when you're standing again, your feet should just feel more alive. I don't mean to like place the thought in your head, but you should have more awareness of the tissue underneath. So here's the end. This is the conclusion now. So we've woken up one set of the domes we talked about through this work. I want to integrate the aliveness of your feet up the whole chain of the dome system that helps support your posture. In the beginning of that first video, I had you do a weight shift. So now I want you to imagine yourself in your not optimal posture where you've gone a little soggy, you had a bad day or you're tired. If you do the same weight shift, you'll feel that the segments of your spine don't necessarily move as a unit. Can you tell how I look a little bit more like a whip? There's less motion at my ankles, more at my upper body, but just like Indiana Jones, the further away from the fulcrum I get, the bigger the swing is. Okay, I want to fight that. I don't want that after you stimulate your feet, but I don't want that to be your soggy posture all the time. So we're going to integrate those domes, fighting gravity, to help you organize all the segments of your spine and retain space in the joints that we've talked about. This is kind of like a trust fall. So you're going to get yourself close to a wall, and you're going to let your body fall into it, catching yourself before your face hits the wall. Watch me do it a couple times before you try. All right, so I'm trying to initiate the motion from my ankles. I'm going to press into the wall, and just like a jumping push-up, I'm going to push back off. So you can see I've got my hands always at the ready position. And now what I'm trying to elicit is organization, right? Integration. So as I push away and get that weight back over my heels, all the muscles of my core, the psoas, which is a spinal muscle that's deep in the core, they should kick in reflexively to stop me from falling backwards. And in these moments where I'm kind of pausing, hovering in the air, This is where my domes get a chance through the nervous system to feel their relationship to each other. So you do that for about 45 seconds to a minute, and then you do whatever you want, but I suggest you go back just one more time for a check-in. Try to sense pushing down into the heels. Try to lift and lower your toes a few times so you can get the feeling of being weighted in the back, allowing for movement in the forefoot, but still creating awareness of that triangle. Remember, we anchor down the big toe and the pinky toe to sense stability through the whole foot. And then body scan, trying to line up your knees, your hips, the rib cage, and the head all in a stack. When we do talk about posture and refer to a plumb line, that's that imaginary vertical line that runs from the ceiling to the floor, and that plumb line should intersect all those segments. If you do struggle with posture, if you have muscle imbalances, or you are really tired, don't stress this. Continue to do your conditioning work, but occasionally add this in as a chance to reset the nervous system and to take a different perspective. I don't want you to constantly be working and straining to get good posture. As your body corrects itself, you also should have a chance to learn ease in standing and ease in motion, and we're going to build that up gradually. So a little work, a little let go, a little work, a little let go. And even once you achieve optimal posture, we have to remember that we're not done. Posture is a forever job because it's not a job. It's about you being aware of your body and that becoming part of your consciousness, getting equal value to what you think in your mind and in your psyche. Okay, I hope you have a great day. Party on, people.